Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter. So good to have you along for the ride this week, everyone. Glad you're here. Hope you had a blessed St. Patrick's Day. And we have got a tremendous show for you tonight. At least we hope so, anyway. But we're going to get going here in just a second here. Great news. If you didn't see my announcement the other day, I am so happy to report that this program is not only being streamed on Facebook Live, it'll be up on YouTube later, but we are now on all major podcasting platforms. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn app, all those good stuff. So yeah, so very, 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 very happy about that. Let's see here, minimize this a little. And get my share screen going. And we'll get into the slideshow as we await other people to arrive. But if nobody else shows up, you know what we'll do? We will, let me stop sharing here. I got the wrong one. We will read the announcements and go home. So anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. It's a great night. Hope you all had a good time today and don't get too wild tonight. And I think I got people in the waiting room. So hang on. Sorry, technical difficulties. It's like we got Rick Diesel and Smiling Diamond Dave coming in here. And let me see. Smiling Diamond Dave, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Matt. How y'all doing tonight?
Very well, very well. I was just telling the audience before you arrived that not only is this being seen on Facebook Live, that we are currently streaming on all podcast platforms, all the major podcast platforms. So that's big news for us. Joey Nuggs is joining us. Got somebody listing themselves as Arca joining us. So I don't know who that is. We will find out together. Auto Racing.
May not want to know.
May not, but Auto Racing Club of America. But either way, so let's see now. Can y'all see the slideshow now? I know you can if you're listening on the podcast, if you listen to the audio version, but I'll try to read everything. So I'll get the pictures as close up to the microphone so you can see them through your radio. But anyway, that's an old Robert D. Rayford joke. Let me hold this paper up here close to the microphone so you can see it. But anyway, all right. So anyway, folks, AIWF, the Allied Independent Wrestling Federations, we are putting a headlock on high advertising prices. As you can see, our rates for 30-second to 1 minute read right there, folks. Look at that, $6 weekly on this program, which goes to all the platforms I just mentioned, or $10 a month. Now, you can't even go to Starbucks and get 2 cups of coffee for $10. Not anymore, anyway. So that's a great deal. We'll do your read like you're going to hear for branch management in just a second. And as you can see, we are seen and heard weekly. Every now and then we take a week off on Facebook, YouTube, and all major podcasting platforms. We'll also mention your business on the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Instagram account. And even though we don't have it listed here, we will plug you at our live events as well. So King's Hot Dogs has been greatly successful with advertising with us for many years. If nothing else, they get a bunch of hungry wrestlers coming in there on show day. So it helps them out, helps us out. And if you need us to do a video commercial, we'll even help you shoot it and all that kind of stuff and put it together for you. Look at that, weekly $20 or monthly $30. Can you beat that? Oh, I do not think so, friends. Best rates in advertising right here with AIWF Ringside Wrestling. And Bobby Dalton has joined us as well. You can reach out to us at AIWF20@hotmail.com. And as you can see, all the platforms here that we stream on Facebook, Instagram. Well, we don't stream on Instagram, but we do put this program on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Alexa. And of course, we have the AIWF network on Roku. Good evening, Joey Nuggs. Good evening, Bobby Dalton. How are you, gentlemen?
I am doing great myself. I want to say happy St. Patrick's Day to all the panel. I hope all these people listening worldwide on all these new streaming services we're on will hear us. And happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you get you a good drink if that's what you're into. I know later on I plan on having a little whiskey myself. A good friend of mine that was Irish told me, even if you're not Irish, if you drink on St. Patrick's Day, it has a way of finding your DNA. Well, someplace in there, you have some Irish DNA. Everybody does, they say. I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but this is what I was told. That's by a little midget. He said he was a leprechaun, but I don't call him that.
Well, I saw this movie once where these guys stole some gold from a leprechaun, and it did not turn out well for them. Not at all. He was a mean little cuss.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a pretty old one. That's a throwback for some of you guys. The movie's actually called Leprechaun. As we were talking about earlier, Instagram is the place to be. You can search AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Boy, that thing has grown by leaps and bounds. We crossed 100 followers this week. And we'd like to thank everybody for jumping on board there. And
righteous.
Yes, the Instagram page is really taken off. And so I appreciate everybody's support on that. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to just shoot me a direct message on Instagram, and we'll be glad to talk to you. You can reach out to me on the Instagram page regarding the advertising too, if you'd like. We also have a presence on Twitter right now. All you have to do is search AIWF_mid. There are other Twitter pages out there with AIWF names on them, but I don't think they're being maintained. Maybe the password was lost. Not sure. But our Twitter is at AIWF_mid. Don't be fooled by the names, though. Even though they say Mid and Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, we cover the entire AIWF and pretty much the entire indie scene as much as we can. So, and speaking of advertising, our favorite people in the world right now, our sponsor, Branch Management, is a tree service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina. They can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, or complete tree removal. They also offer general landscaping work as well. And so if you got more grass than you can handle to cut, these guys are the ones to give you a call. They also do pressure washing. They offer very competitive rates and are here to serve you. You may also be eligible for a $100 referral bonus. If you want to get in touch with our friends at Branch Management, well, it's very easy. All you have to do is pick up the phone, give them a call, area code 336-325-5300. Joey Nuggs, we talked a couple of weeks ago about how much fun it is to read phone numbers on the radio. Would you like to repeat that for our audience?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's 336-325-5300.
There we go. A very nice.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to you and yours from Branch Management.
Yes. Indeed.
Now back to you in the studio, Jim.
There
was always a Jim in the studio. I don't know where he was. He was running around moving cables or something in the back. Back to you in the studio, Jim.
We always had our producer back in the old days, Smokey, and he still works with us sometimes. Smokey from South Carolina. Quite Smokey the man about town. Quite the man about town. Yes, indeed. So thank you again, Branch Management, for all your help. And again, folks, that number one more time, 336-325-5300. And for you potential advertisers out there, that's basically what you get for $10 a month. You can't beat that.
It's righteous.
Don't know if any more of the AIWF 30th anniversary tees are still available. To be quite frank with you, I forgot to remove this slide. But I tell you what, if you come to the show this Saturday night, you hit up the t-shirt wagon. If Amber doesn't have any available, she might be able to print you out one. So still good looking shirt list. All the world champions of the AIWF from the founding to currently with Damian Wayne. So very, very nice tee there. Available up to 3X, I believe, up to 3X and in several different colors. Mm-hmm. And of course, right, say it loud, say it proud. This guy Jamal the Titan, brand new AIWF World Television Champion. I know we mentioned it last week, but it bears mentioning again. Jamal the Titan, the brand new AIWF World Television Champion, won that title at the Sunday edition of the AIWF 30th anniversary show.
Yes, sir. I think that's awesome. Brings another world title to the Mid-Atlantic area. That brings more prestige right here to the Mid-Atlantic area. I think that's awesome. I think he's going to be a great representative for the World Television Championship title.
Yep, absolutely, and a lot of responsibility. I'm glad to have a World Championship with one of our hometown guys, but Jamal the Titan, definitely his schedule is going to pick up defending this title around the country, no doubt about it. So congratulations, Jamal, again. And we're happy to have you in the fold. Okay, announcements time. Let's get into it. Friend of the show, Michael King, is involved with this, so I thought it was very important to mention his pro wrestling it's family-friendly wrestling. Come meet all the stars. It's at the T.W. Edwards Community Center. That's 195 Coleman Circle. Joey Nuggs, you live in South Carolina. Help me pronounce the name of that town.
That's Pacolet.
Pacolet, South Carolina. This is March 18th. That's tomorrow. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time is 7. Pretty reasonable prices here too. Adults $10, ages 6 to 12 or 5. Under 5 is free. Again, that's his pro wrestling coming up tomorrow night, March 18th at 7 p.m. Also, we've got our friends down at Shockwave Wrestling in New Bern. They've got a big show tomorrow night. The Luck of the Irish. General admission $10, kids 6 to 12, 5. Doors at 6 p.m. Bell time at 7. It's at the Craven County Fairgrounds in New Bern. Normal place, sponsored by Leonard Trucks and Trailers, B&B Outdoor Power, Craven County JCs, Atlantic Auto Parts and Salvage. So if you're down in the eastern part of the state, you want to head on over to the Craven County Fairgrounds because they're going to have some great wrestling action coming to you tomorrow night. Got some new people debuting, and the Brat, Prince, Alejandro Avery, Brian Simmons, and Vaughn Miller. Any comments or thoughts on the show in New Bern tomorrow night, panel?
Once again, I think the Brat Prince Alejandro Avery is somebody I would like to see myself in person. If there's anyone that's got video on him, his name alone he just looks like, excuse my language, he looks like a real badass. He really does. I don't know about the other two gentlemen, but they look like they get the job done too. And the flyer aesthetically looks awesome. I love that green static looking lightning.
Yeah, it's like if a leprechaun was using the dark side of the force.
Yeah.
Tennessee All Pro Wrestling. They're having a Southern Heavyweight Championship match, and that event takes place tomorrow night as well at the Victory Center, 5542 Manchester Highway in Morrison, Tennessee. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Bell time at 7:30. Again, it's March 19th, this Saturday night, 5542 Manchester Highway in Morrison, Tennessee. Adults are $8. Children 6 to 12, $6. Kids 5 and under get in free. A big loaded card with Tennessee All Pro Wrestling stars all there in Morrison. So if you're in the Morrison area, there's a great night of entertainment for you Saturday night.
Oh yeah, Larry D is still their heavyweight champion. He's awesome. I've seen video on him before.
All right. And because of the poster, I'm a Simpsons mark, so here it is. If you can't see it at home, folks, the poster is designed and all the wrestlers have been drawn to look like Simpsons characters, and that's for our friends at Empire Pro Wrestling. This still shows a way off. It's Saturday, April 30th. The location is 4001 Northwest 39th Street in Oak City, Oklahoma. Doors open at 4, bell times at 5. And I am not seeing an update for this advertisement, but it says here, Patreon subscribers exclusive. No tickets will be sold at the door. To attend the event, you must sign up at patreon.com/Empire Wrestling OKC. That website again, patreon.com/Empire Pro Wrestling OKC. And just love that artwork. Of course, in a big announcement that we made at the 30th anniversary show, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson are making their farewell tour this year in 2022. And the last time they'll be stopping in Mount Airy will be at Deal with the Steel Do not have any word on their opponents yet, but understand that's being worked on. What do you think about it, Joey Nuggs? I mean, this is and I'll go around the room here. This is a legendary tag team that started in, they got together, I think, in Mid-South, and then had a good run with the Midnight Express down there, and then came to the Carolinas and have just basically done it all.
Robert Gibson by himself, when he started out a tag team with his brother Ricky Gibson, he was a Ricky. There was another Robert Ricky originally, and yeah, they're one of the best tag teams of all time. WWE Hall of Famers. You can't say more about the Rock and Roll Express. I want to know who they're going to wrestle in Mid Atlantic, especially if this might be one of the last time you ever see these two wrestle together in the Mid Atlantic. Yeah, I would love to be at ringside with ever a team that goes against them myself.
You know, Matt Carter, it's going to be my honor to call that last match for him. I've known Ricky and Robert for over 25 years in other areas around there, and they're class act. But I'll tell you what, they may be older, but they're still tough, and they still give you a fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Smilin, Diamond Dave, you got some experience with these two as well, correct?
Yes. You know, been on several shows with them. Been involved with them on several shows. They are two likable people, very talented athletes, even at their age. They've done a lot for the world of wrestling in tag team action. Accolades just keep piling up when you talk about the Rock and Roll Express. I'm looking forward to it, but I just want them to know when you come to the Mid-Atlantic, you're not the boss, I am. So we'll leave it at that.
All right. Okay. It's right from the mouth of Smiling Diamond Dave. So, but anyway, Ricky and Robert going to be coming here on their farewell tour. And I'll tell you this, folks, I went down to Spartanburg and saw them wrestle FTR a few weeks ago, and that match was absolutely fantastic. You know, you can say what you want, but Ricky and Robert still get around the ring like young men. It is incredible. Their merch,
and they still do that double drop kick like they're teenagers.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, they run their own merch table, and it had one of the longest lines there that night for the fan meet and greet. So incredible, just incredible, these two.
Like I said, the accolades that these two have got, they keep piling up. They're great people, good people to be around. Ricky Morton, if you've never had the opportunity to be in a dressing room with him or around him, he'll absolutely keep you in stitches. And for the younger guys, if you're around them, you know, you sit down, keep your mouth shut and your ears open. The knowledge that you could get from these two just by listening, you know, is absolutely, it's a feather in your cap as a young wrestler to sit under and just listen to what they have to say, you know.
Absolutely. So the Rock and Roll Express will be making their final appearance in Mount Airy at Deal with the Steel. First to announce the first inductees into the Hall of Fame. I forgot this slide was next, or I would have made a little more fanfare. But going into the AIWF Hall of Fame this year, the Star City Rollers.
Woohoo!
Jimmy Jannetty, Jenny Jannetty, and Jody Osborne. And let me tell you something. When they were on top in the AIWF as tag team champions, nobody could touch them. They were unreal. And the Star City Rollers are going in. They are a great part of the AIWF's tag team history, and were absolutely unscrupulous in the tactics they would use to attain victory. but very successful, and couldn't be more happy to see these three go in. I'll let it go around the room. Gentlemen, thoughts and memories of the Star City Rollers.
Very well deserved, in my opinion, Matt. These two guys, very tough competitors, and any given night, they both was on top of their game. You never knew what they could pull out of the hat next. And to me, that's what made them the top competitors and a quality tag team that they was.
Next, Bobby, Joey.
I'm honored to see them come in. Are they actually going to come to Mid-Atlantic and receive their award, make a speech?
I hope so. I think Jimmy is living down in Florida right now. He is okay.
What about the sister? She looked like she was a wildcat back in her day in this picture. Wow, she has her hand out, looking like I think she even has like some. Oh yeah, that's leopard. She has like a leopard head. She like ripped the skin off a leopard and put it on her head. She looks awesome.
I've heard people say an expression. You'd sooner try to skin a wildcat in a phone booth than mess with me. Jenny Janetti did skin a wildcat in the phone booth to get that attire. I'm sure she did that herself.
She looks awesome.
And I'd heard about people being tarred and feathered. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but the Star City Rollers were responsible for tarring and feathering somebody in Mount Airy. I want to say just a few years ago, right before the tag team became defunct. I don't want to say they split up, because they went their separate ways in a very friendly and peaceful manner, because Jimmy just moved away. I mean, that was really what happened. But Smilin, Davin, Dave, do you remember that? Somebody, or Bobby, they tarred and feathered somebody, and I cannot remember who it was to save my life. Maybe it was Lewis Moore.
I can't recollect, but I do know they did it, but I'm not sure, like you, who exactly it was, but I know it was a pretty weird incident.
Yeah.
Well, Lewis Moore sounds awful familiar.
Yeah, because he was in a feud with TR Superstar at the time, and I believe that's who that was. I'll tell you what, it's probably on our Facebook page. Oh no, they tarred and feathered Foxy Roxy. That's what it was. Guilt by association. Okay. So they tarred and feathered Foxy Roxy, and we got to see Foxy Roxy in the Heritage Battle Royal at the Legend show. I mean, at the anniversary show. So yeah, it was Foxy Roxy. Maybe we can find that video and put it back up, repost it on the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Facebook page, just as, like, hey, Star City Rollers greatest hits, since they're the first announcement, first ones announced going into the Hall of Fame for 2022.
I'd love to find out if those titles are still around anywhere. Those were good looking belts they have on their shoulders too.
Yeah, they may be in the archive somewhere in Toast, North Carolina. But yeah, they great thing.
White Plains, North Carolina.
White Plains. Okay.
White Plains.
It's White Plains. Okay. Well, what the border between White Plains and Toast is, kind of wiggly and everything. So I never know exactly which one I'm in. Right. I mean,
oh my God.
There's two red lights between White Plains and Toast.
Mm-hmm. And so
yeah.
There's actually,
ladies and gentlemen, the network Kevin Phoenix is online and amongst the panel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored.
Well, I don't know if it's the actual.
You might not want to hear what he has to say.
I want to hear what he's got to say. I'm very honored that the executive producer, is gracing us with his presence tonight. Very honored.
Amen.
Looks like he's driving too. So,
what's up, fellas?
What's going on, Kevin Phoenix?
And this is Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
I had to finally come on because I hear all the smack you guys are talking about me and the network.
Well,
maybe you're here. We could actually do a total every week of how much new content is on the network. Maybe you could give us an update. Is it more than usual?
Well, right now we're working on some new technical things with the network.
That's a
But we
no.
plan to actually have we will have night one of the 30th anniversary up this weekend.
Awesome.
Awesome. You heard it out of the network executive producer's mouth directly, Kevin Phoenix.
And so the repercussions from this could be catastrophic because we're streaming live on Facebook. This will be on YouTube later, and then across all streaming platforms, podcast platforms, all the major ones. So,
Wow.
yeah, our audience
We are big time.
got a little bigger last week. So, fingers crossed, we will see that this weekend. Bobby, you had something?
See, I
you wanted
wear
to
a
say?
tie just for the event, even though you people can't see it out there on the streaming platforms, the radio land. I wear a tie every week, try to look good for you folks.
Fellas, I hate to run, but I've got to go because I'm working. But I'll see you guys Saturday night. It's going to be a good one. Bands come out. You know, a lot going on. You never know what's going to happen. And Mr. Phoenix, please don't be doing one more drinking and lap dancing.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Bobby. I'm sorry. I plead the fifth.
He drank a fifth.
Yeah, according to Mid-Atlantic Facebook page, you and Commissioner Dave were spotted somewhere having drinks and lap dances.
Next time you go out, call a brother. I'll pay for the first round. I got dollar bills all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't, Kevin, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. I mean,
well, surely
No,
that-
I'm not saying that you did, but if you ever were to, I'd love to go to the secret location where you guys hang out if that was to be a location.
I'll have to keep that in mind then, Mr. Nuggs.
I'm always
Surely.
down for a safety meeting, so to speak.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Surely the writers at the AIWF Facebook page would not mislead us one way or the other. I don't know. We'll
Well,
see this Saturday night.
obviously they have. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know where they get their information. So,
Well, Hey, I took it as a gospel truth, so I picked it up and put it on Instagram. So it's very well documented out there on social media this week that you guys had some sort of a meeting. So I don't know.
I want to know myself if nobody else is gonna say something. Kevin Phoenix, that was a travesty. What happened to you at the anniversary event? I was there at ringside seat because I was there, and they should have never put their hands on an official. That is a no anywhere in professional wrestling worldwide. We all know this. No type of professionalism, no respect for the position whatsoever. You see a man in a striped shirt, he's not released from prison. He is an official. Remember that.
That is so true. It was a terrible weekend for me. I was assaulted by Nate Diamond and Ty Tyson all in one weekend. So there definitely will be consequences and repercussions coming up this Saturday. Best believe that.
If you had a life movie reference for tonight's drinking game, drink now. Very nice. I was gonna do a Simpsons one too, so be on the lookout.
Smilin, Diamond Dave, they just ran amok when you weren't there, sir, to look out for our backs. And I'm gonna tell you something. If Mr. Damian Wayne sends his regards and said thank you for letting me go ringside and watching his back while he came through the Mid-Atlantic area.
Hey, one thing I'd like to point out real quick, guys. If you'll notice, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, which I have too, you'll notice that Joey Nuggs has a very, very regular tendency to interrupt me. So if I had to give Joey Nuggs a Latin name, like, you know how they name animals like Canis Dogus or whatever like that, I would call Joey Nuggs Bono Interrupto. Just saying. Sorry to put you on blast, man, but I know that's
not
a
mad
terrible.
about it. I've been told by everybody, all the fans, especially across our Instagram, the 100 people on there, they've been telling us Joey Nuggs is the star of the show. Without him, a lot of times when Smiling Diamond Dave is not present, this call is just downright boring without me. They told me.
Hey, I will agree.
You are the spark that makes the gasoline ignite. They say.
I will agree. I will agree with that, because if you guys don't come on here,
ain't nobody put myself over better than Joey Nuggs. I'm gonna pat myself on the back and hope I don't break my arm doing it.
And I will agree, because if you guys don't come on the show,
that's another thing. I know I
this.
cut you off again, Matt.
I know it's really pleasing to the ears when you're listening to this on a podcast. Go ahead. It's a good
Kevin,
thing
I
I marked
want,
this
I
show
want to
explicit.
assure,
Go ahead,
Kevin,
Dave.
I want to assure you that Saturday night, actions will be taken on what happened to you. I wasn't present, but I do have access to all video, all matches. I seen everything that happened. And even though the little pink panther penguin, pink flamingo is tropping off to the Bahamas, that's his excuse because he don't want to face the wrath of what's going to come down for what he did to you. And there will be repercussions Saturday night, whether he's there or not. And I just want you to know that the commissioner has your back on this.
All right, all right. Well, I appreciate that, Commissioner. I appreciate it. We will definitely handle it. But fellas, I've got to go. You know, the network is calling. I've got a meeting. I've got to go in there with Rick Diesel. I'm about to go in a meeting right now with Rick Diesel to talk about some big things with the network. So you guys take it easy and have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining the program.
You have a good night, Kevin.
No
It's
problem.
an honor,
No problem, fellas. No.
Mr. Phoenix. It's an honor always to be around you, sir.
And see what Kevin Phoenix did
Thank you,
there,
guys.
guys. You don't have to come on here for the whole hour. You just come on, plug your show, and jump off. Nothing to it. You know, that's all there is to it. And the show he's talking about, of course, that he and Smilin Diamond Dave are talking about, of course, is this Saturday night, March 19th. At Veterans Park in Mount Airy, brought to you by King's Hot Dogs. Tickets are $8 ringside and $6 general admission. But let's be honest, gentlemen, we've been running at the park for many, 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 many years, and there is not a bad seat in the house.
No, any place. Me personally, if I was a fan, it may be it ain't as convenient as sitting on the floor. But you said about the 5th row to the 8th or 9th row, right in the center of the bleachers. That's the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
You can see everything. You can see the whole ring. You can see around the ring. You can see the fans at ringside. You can see everything, you know. So, but I agree, Matt, there's not a bad seat in the house there.
One of the cool things about that building is like for aesthetics anyway. And like the seats are on one side. So we set up all our equipment and everything on the other side and you shoot toward that, you know, and it's a beautiful building. I absolutely love it. It was actually where I worked my first wrestling show back in '96. So every time I go back there, it's a blast from the past. Would you like to guess, Smilin Diamond Dave, what the main event was of my very first wrestling show?
Methuselah.
Not quite that old.
Hey, watch it, Mr. Nuggs. That was back in my day. Now I ain't that old. Now come on. But
that's when they wrestled in the original Coliseum, not the one here, the one over in Rome.
But Matt, to be honest, I've got an idea or a speculation, but I really can't say.
All right. Well, here, let me give you a hint. It was the night you clotheslined Airy outside the ring and his head bounced off the floor and it sounded like a pumpkin busting when it hit that. Yeah.
Way to go, Smilin Diamond.
Yeah. And then Smilin Diamond Dave gets down on one knee, looks at his wife and said, "That was for you, baby."
Where's that footage? That needs to be up on the network. That's a hit waiting to happen.
It's in the archives. It's in the
See
archives.
some of that.
It did. It's
You know, Matt, there's a lot of things that happened back in the day that might need to stay in the archives.
Traumatic.
Some of that stuff wasn't kid friendly, to say the least. I can remember a different era for AIWF. And these I still have a Stacey Adams suit that has singe marks for it that got when I got set on fire. And that was, I think, the first couple of shows I ever did with AIWF.
Yeah, it was a little wild back then.
Back in the day, you know, Matt can tell you, there was one thing and rest his soul, to me, one of the best people, one of the best tag team partners, because we was together so long. You never knew, regardless of who you was, what me and Don was going to be capable of doing or what we would do on any given night.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And you know what? And you guys were the baddest of the bad, but Don, was one of the first people I met, and he started teaching me about wrestling right away. And I have to admit that even though as a young announcer, when y'all's music hit, I was a little bit scared, but but I knew when I heard that music, I was like, it's like, God, all right, here we go. Shit's about to be on now, So,
well, I mean, with the feuds that we had with, and I say this and be short about it because we got other things to move on to. With the feuds that we had with the family,
mhm.
The biker outlaws, it didn't matter who you was. We didn't like nobody. We'd fight you any night of the week, any given place, any type match. It didn't matter because we knew that the TVA was going to come out on top unless we got cheated.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and just to answer the trivia question I threw out there earlier, the main event that night was for the AIWF Championship, a lumberjack match. Don Carson defended against Dynamite Doug, and actually Doug won the AIWF title that night. So, but he had some help because there was people on the outside that's holding Don's legs, so he couldn't kick out, and the referee didn't see it. So,
Yeah.
as big as mean as quick to cheat as dangerous Don Carson was, after something like that happens to you, you almost are tempted as an announcer to give him a pass because you're like, well, shoot, he couldn't wrestle fair if he wanted to around here. I mean, these guys right here are unscrupulous.
Well, that's what I said, Matt, and that right there goes to prove it. 9 times out of 10, we knew that we was going to come out on top unless we got cheated. Don got cheated that night.
He did. And as a matter of fact, never regained the AIWF championship. That was his last run as champion, I do believe. I think you guys held some tag team titles after that, but that was his last run as AIWF champion. So speaking of champions, the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions, and one of the most popular duos, talk about your original odd couple.
Yes.
Hey, Gorilla Q speaks Spanish and English, and Matt Anderson barely speaks English, but they are one great combination. Matt Anderson, part of the TVA at one time. Am I correct in saying that, Dave?
No, Matt wasn't. No.
Okay. I thought
Matt's too young.
Well, I was thinking that when he was teamed up with Sebastian Kane, that they were calling themselves the TVA, like a new version of it, like TVA 2.0 or something like that.
To be honest, he better not have done that because when they was tagging, me and Don, neither one was active. So, that.
I'm not saying that I ever heard that. I was just asking. I'm not.
Oh, I know. No. I understand what you're saying. I'm just, you know what the TVA is to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when something's asked or something's said, I get my point across right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But not to my knowledge, because the organization that they tagged with, the owner would never let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, or at least I hope he wouldn't. Didn't
they tag together here? Weren't you their manager? Didn't they tag together here? And you were their manager a few years ago, right before I came back.
No, I ain't never managed them. I never even knew Matt until my first night as commissioner in Virginia at I think it was Atkins or
Mhm.
that other fire department. I know we was up in the sticks and it was cold. So
Yeah, I come from those sticks. I know exactly where you're talking about. Not that far up in the hills, but I was down at the bottom of the mountain. But I totally get you there. So Gorilla Q and Matt Anderson going to be in action this coming Saturday night in Mount Airy. Can't wait to see the tag team champions. Hey, they were able to defend their titles last time and keep the Mid-Atlantic Championship in the AIWF Mid-Atlantic. So kudos to them for that. Who knows what awaits them. They are the odd couple, but man, they have worked together fantastic as a tag team, which we know Matt's been in tag teams before, that's kind of his thing. But it looks like to me, just watching these two together, that Gorilla Q has got some tag team experience too. They seem to be better as a team than singles wrestlers. I hate to say that, but some people are tag team specialists. I mean, we were just talking about the Rock and Roll Express. Some people are better at tag teams than they are at singles, and this is a good team.
Yeah, well, I tell you, when they won the titles, I just stood there and shook my head and said, I'll admit I have to eat crow. There's no way that they can coincide with each other. Two totally different regions, two totally different styles, two totally different people.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to eat crow. These guys are impressive when they're together as a tag team.
Absolutely.
Very seldom does the commissioner admit that he was wrong. I will here tonight.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with admitting when you're wrong. I like to be wrong sometimes. Like for example, when you don't think a team's going to work out and they do tremendously well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing. I enjoy being surprised. So good luck to Gorilla Q and Matt Anderson. We'll find out who their opponents are this Saturday night. Mickey Fulp is going to be in action Saturday night. And the word around the campfire is he is out for revenge on one David Parrish. Mickey cut a wonderful promo, fired up interview on the AIWF Mid-Atlantic page this week, but I can't play it on this program because Mickey made reference to gun violence. So if you're going to cut a fired up promo and you want to get it out there to the people, here's a couple of pro tips. Number one, do not threaten anyone with gun violence in graphic detail. Number two, do not talk about any deviant sexual act, okay? Because you will get us kicked off podcast platforms for that. Now, Apple seems to be cool with just about anything, but Pandora, who I've not heard back from, and TuneIn ain't playing that. So they were very clear when we signed up for that they will not tolerate that type of behavior. So I would love to play that promo for you. It was fired up as a great interview, but I can't do it because, it breaks some rules. So,
goes against the censors.
It breaks a lot of rules because I have got to view it and then I had to view it again. And it kind of tickles me. I don't like the hillbilly drunk Mickey Fulp. It kind of tickles me because he cut this awesome promo. Delete it, Mickey. Throw it in the trash. It's no good. Nobody's ever going to see it except on your little Facebook page because you are an idiot.
I won't go that far, but
so
the commissioners.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but that was good.
Go ahead, Dave. I can tell you got more to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Mickey, you use your head, son, for something besides a hat rack to cover up that nappy hairdo that you wear around. Use your head. You've got to be more conservative if you want your promos to get out. If you need a lesson, come and see me, Mickey. I'll show you how to cut a promo that can get out.
Yeah.
Instead of saying a couple things that you said, he must have been drinking the Coors Light that night, or he was constipated or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, now look, just so you guys know, I don't want to, I dropped an S-bomb a few minutes ago. I marked all these podcasts explicit just so in case somebody slipped and let one go, that it's not a problem, right? But and so profanity is not an issue, unless you just go on some kind of tirade, like like at the end of Scarface or something, but that's not an issue. But if you, like I said, the two things you do not want to do, and this is for anybody in the indies, when you are cutting promos, it's not just in the AIWF. Number one, I'll say it again, do not talk about gun violence at all, especially not in graphic detail.
No.
And do not talk about any kind of deviant sexual activity or any sexual activity at all. There's certain things you can't say. Now, if you want to tell that joke in the dressing room, yes, people are going to love it. If you telling it sitting around the bar one night, but you cannot tell it on a platform like this because we don't own it. People let us use the platform, and we got to follow their rules. And so those are the main two. Sergeant Stryker has joined us. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir. Did you get a chance to see Mickey Phelps' promo?
No, I didn't. And I just caught the tail end of what you was talking. I just got the whole one, don't talk about gun violence, and two, don't talk sex or any kind of sexual content while cutting a promo. The only exception to that is if you're Luscious Kevin.
Oh, Lord.
No, I disagree.
We
with
have
you.
to keep it clean because
I disagree with you because even though you think you're good, you're a nobody. Your promo get thrown in the trash just like Mickey's did because it just don't happen. You pop in here towards the end of the show, you bald-headed geek, and you think you're gonna just sit back, shut your mouth, swallow your skull, and hush.
Let me tell you something.
I done told you something. You ain't nothing you can tell me.
But let me tell you something.
You can't tell me nothing. I'm somebody you want to be like, and you'll never be like me. You'll never be as good as me. You can't even match me in words. So just shut your mouth, sit down, eat your chicken nuggets, and hush.
I know I'll never be as good as you because I'm better than you.
It was at 7:47 Eastern time when Matt Carter lost control of Ringside Wrestling. You two are going to have a match at some point. Y'all come on here and go at each other like this. I mean, bring it like, where's Dusty?
Can I say something? Not cut you off.
Go ahead.
If not cutting you off, can I be the guest special referee? I mean, if I got to get two shirts and sew them together, I want to be in that match.
Yeah, these two, man. Yeah, I know it's gonna get
live. That was awesome.
It was. But yes, so take it easy.
You get this on the network.
You can't see you can't radio land can't see the look on my face right now. But anyway, Ty Tyson will also be in action. He's in quite.
I'll let you have control back.
Thank you. Ty Tyson in action this Saturday night as well. Joey Nuggs, he is embroiled in quite the bitter feud with your man Jack.
I'm gonna tell you something. You weren't there, Smilin Diamond Dave, without your presence. He came out and chased and interfered with the AIWF Mid-Atlantic versus Ring Wars Carolinas. And
I've seen the video.
Oh, and just, I mean, no respect for the Mid-Atlantic whatsoever. I myself went out there and even shook Mickey Phelps' hand and put all things aside because for the best of the Mid-Atlantic. What did he did? He didn't care at all about the Mid-Atlantic. I was offended for all of us.
This big hammer, this big, whatever you want to call it that he's carrying around.
It's Thor's hammer.
We're gonna have a meeting amongst the important people, and we're going to see about that. That's just that don't go over well with me. It's bad enough he carried a bat with a saw blade in it, but this, to me, can be deemed as very dangerous. You know, so we're gonna see about that, Joey.
Oh,
Please do.
so what you're saying is his hammer can be deemed very dangerous, but the baseball bat you use to beat people with is not. Is that what I'm getting out of that?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. You know the difference between me and Ty Tyson, him carrying the hammer and me carrying the bat? You want me to explain that to you? If you've got
Sure.
common sense enough to understand what I'm getting ready to say,
In life.
I'm 56 years old. I will carry an equalizer, but it ain't no 30-pound, what is that hammer made out of? I seen a picture of it up close. It looks like forged steel or whatever it is. I don't know what you would call it, but it is twice as dangerous as my bat that I carry to protect myself. Ty don't need that to protect himself. Kevin, me and you both know that. You've said it ringside. You've been in the ring with him. He does not need that hammer to protect himself. Now, am I right or am I wrong?
You're wrong. Do you need a bat to protect yourself? No, you have all the goons in the back out and jump on anybody that you see fit for them to jump on. So therefore, you don't need a bat.
Yeah, but nine
But-
times out of 10, when I'm in the ring, there's nobody with me. Right?
Just be lucky
Thank
that
you.
just be lucky that a certain part of Spring Jam got canceled.
I know certain people got their prayers answered because they was sitting and shaking and shivering, and they prayed and they prayed and they prayed, and they got their prayers answered.
Yeah, you did.
Lord, please, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I got a prayer answered. I'm going to be honest, because my prayer got answered because I didn't want to disassemble this person when I got the opportunity in front of his family, in front of his so-called one fan, which is, I don't know who that is. Might be Bobby Dalton. I don't know. But yeah, I got a prayer answered.
Yeah, you got a prayer answer.
I don't have to go to jail now.
You got a prayer answer that you didn't get your old ass kicked.
Oh mercy! So
Well, I tell you what.
let's
They
feel.
is no man. I'm gonna interrupt you now. I'm gonna be worse than Joey Nuggs.
Oh Lord!
I'm gonna be worse than Joey Nuggs.
You guys are scheduled to
Okay,
have
go
a
ahead. I'll
match.
shut up.
You guys are fill everybody in that's listening. You guys were scheduled to have a match. Is that correct? And it didn't happen.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. There's a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. There is several in that dressing room that I would not back down from, but I would not want to tangle with. But let me tell you something, Private Stryker. The day that you're man enough to push my suitcase, my wrestling bag in the dressing room, the day that you're man enough to tie my boots, the day that you're man enough to put this 56-year-old man down, that'll be the day I will stand on Main Street in Mount Airy on the biggest, loudest speaker there is and call you the man. But I don't have to worry about that because you're not the man. You're the man that backed out of the match because I'm going to shut up because I'll say something I shouldn't. And I'm just preaching about these interviews, these promos. So I'm going to hush and be the professional that I am and let you go ahead and your windbag, airbag self and flop your gums and shoot you hot air to make yourself feel good. So,
Well, I mean,
get it, Baldy.
I don't know if y'all can tell by the shaking of my right hand right here. It's probably in the works of being diagnosed as Parkinson's disease. So therefore, you got your prayer answered because one, not accidentally and not on purpose. Well, not on purpose, but it would be an accident.
This guy's got more excuses than Juan Epstein.
You know, he can say about him shaking and about him doing this and about this. The only reason you're shaking, Kevin Stryker, is because you know that I would be on the other side, and you knew the wrath that you would have to face. That's the only reason you're shaking, and it scared you so bad they're trying to pass it off as a medical condition. Let's be honest.
All right.
You just wish it.
Yeah, all
But
right.
Matt, I'll let you
I am honored to be in you gentlemen's presence.
Yeah.
I was all-
You ain't gonna find a conversation like that on no other wrestling podcast. I'll tell you that. It's Saturday, March
sir.
19th. That we talked about earlier, the world champion, the world television champion, Jamal the Titan, with 2 slides tonight, going to be making an appearance at Capital Punishment, and most likely that title will be on the line as well. Again, tickets for the events, $8 for the floor, $6 bleachers. That's this Saturday night, March 19th at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. And of course, we saw the commissioner, well, not the commissioner, I guess he's the executive VP of the network. Kevin Phoenix was here earlier with us. And he's going to have a talk with Smilin Diamond Dave, and we'll see what happens regarding the match with he and Nate Diamond coming up. I think that's this Saturday night as well. So Kevin Phoenix will be there, and no telling what's going to happen there. And of course, the match we were all talking about, we're all looking forward to, 1-on-1. It's a prison yard match. I do not know the rules to that match yet. So I guess we're going to have to find out together. It's another first round. Smiling Diamond Dave, you're laughing. Is there anything you can tell us, or we're going to have to wait?
Matt, the only thing I can say for the people on here, if there's any fans on the podcast listening, if people are listening, go up Saturday night to find out what this holds. I'm not giving nothing away. I'm not saying nothing. If you want to know, be there Saturday night at Capital Punishment.
All right. So,
and I'll let everybody know at one time.
Oh, all right. So you got to come out Saturday night if you want to find out. Of course, you can tune in here next week. We'll tell you all about it, but we want you to come out to the show. That's the idea here. Again, tickets, $8 for the floor, $6 for the bleachers. And for several years ago, I thought it would be funny to buy a necklace that said Irish Princess for my wife for St. Patrick's Day. And if you know her, you know why that's funny, right? And it did. It got over real good at work. So I've got that on tonight because that's the only green I've really got, except a little thing of Baby Yoda over there. So with this in mind, Caden Pierre, I know you are the pink princess. Tonight, I am the Irish princess. So royalty to royalty, from one princess to another. Please come on this show. I've been after you for like 3 months to come on this show. So I'm trying to pull out the royalty card right here, because Caden says he's the pink princess. So, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get these big stars on.
Well, Matt, maybe if you dressed one night like the pink princess, maybe he'd come out.
He might. The last time I was in a dress, though, it's very unpleasant memory, Smiling Diamond Dave. That's when the family dropped me on my head and put me in a dress in Stewart, Virginia. And yeah, Kevin remembers that.
Well,
I don't want to do that again. Although I will admit the dress was comfortable, but it did not look good on me.
No, I'm not saying wear a dress. I said dress like the Pink Princess.
Oh no, I
He's actually going to put on a dress.
Get you a pair of them shorty shorts
oh
and come out and announce and do your interviews at a live show dressed like Caden Pierre.
no, I can't do that.
And I know he'll show up because you will make him mad dressing like him, and I know he'll come out.
Well, he'll say I'm stealing his gimmick, and I don't think I could pull off them short shorts like Caden Pierre can. So, you know, he's in a lot better shape than I am. So, so anyway, folks, this is our main event this Saturday night. Be sure you come on out to the park. And yeah, see, I told you Rick Diesel that joke would work. So come on out and see us this Saturday night. It's AIWF Capital Punishment. We actually had the first Capital Punishment way back in 1998 down in Elkin at the Armory down there. So that is coming up this weekend. And folks, I hate to do this and bring on end on a somber note, but let's face it, man, we lost Scott Hall this week. And he was a big part of the wrestling business for many, many years. You know, he actually, cut his teeth in Florida and then came to Crockett Promotions when Dusty Rhodes became the booker, and then went to AWA. Then he came to WCW for a while, and then in 89, and then he left WCW not long after that. I don't know where he went after that, but then he showed back up at WCW in like 91 as the Diamond Stud. Spent a couple of years there, then went to the WWF at the time, and became probably his best known persona, Razor Ramon, and was there until 1996 when he went to WCW and started the NWO, which was what they call the beginning of the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars. It was the height of that. And, unfortunately, we lost Scott Hall. I cannot say anything that has not already been said. I had never met the man in person, but everybody always talks about what a great mind he had for the wrestling business, how he was always willing to help out the young guys, and just, what a great human being he was. But unfortunately, we lost him this week, and I did want to mention that before we go. We're over time here, guys, but I will, if you want to make a quick comment about Scott Hall, go right ahead.
Scott Hall was Joey. I'm sorry, Scott Hall was one of the all-time greats. I remember him back when he had a head full of hair and a mustache that looked like Tom Selleck, and he was just. When I lived in Maryland, I actually got to meet him person to person when he was the Intercontinental champion, and just all around great guy. I mean, he's done a lot for this profession and the sport. So. It's a sad situation anytime we lose somebody within the brotherhood, whether we've met them or we've been on shows with them or not. It's just a sad situation.
Anybody else?
It is. I think it's just fitting that everybody gives out a big "hey yo," and also keep in mind that bad times don't last forever, but bad guys do. And I've met him once. I met him once backstage at a wrestling show. When AC was doing the whole thing of putting your name in the hat to where you can go down and be put on ring crews and security and everything else, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that once, and got to go backstage and sat with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and all of them, and the plethora of knowledge that he had about this business. I mean, you could just sit there and pick his brains for a million years, and he'll forget more than in his little finger about the wrestling business than what you'll ever remember throughout your life.
All right, Joey Nuggs.
I can actually say that there's that video that went around viral when he was in New Jersey at the convention, and the comedian thought it was funny to make an insulted joke about Owen Hart. And I know he inebriated because I was at the bar doing shots with Scott that day, and I could tell you that he was true to the business through and through. And he got, at the end of his career, he got cleaned up there along with Diamond Dallas Page and of course Jake the Snake Roberts. And he was always an asset to our business, no matter what company he worked for. And I'd like to say myself, goodbye to the bad guy. Rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Yep, Scott Hall, it ain't goodbye forever. It's just see you later. So on to that big ring in the sky, and maybe one day I'll get his autograph in the next life. We'll see. But thank you for all your contributions to the wrestling business, Scott Hall. You will be missed a lot. Well, that's it, folks. Just want to remind you, get out and watch independent wrestling wherever you can this week, whether they're an AIWF affiliate or not. Independent wrestling is still a live event driven business. It's not with TV deals like WWE and AEW. So get out and support your local indie promotion. Lord knows we've shown you a lot of indie federations that are running this weekend. And gentlemen, that's about all I've got. Any last comments before we go? All right.
See you Saturday at the events.
That's right. You beat me to it, Joey. Look forward to seeing everybody Saturday night.
All right.
Exactly right.
Well, we will see you at Veterans Park this coming Saturday night, everybody. And for Joey Nuggs, Sergeant Stryker, Bobby Dalton, Smilin Diamond Dave, and Kevin Phoenix, the executive VP of the network, I am Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next week, fans. And until then, so long for now.